Test one, two, test one, two. Okay, looks like things are going well. So, a new H3 podcast came out. Maybe we should listen to that. However, there is just like some stories that I want to cover about Donald Trump that are so glaringly obviously bad that they turn the corner into funny for me. So, okay, let's just get into this. So I'm listening to the news. I'm listening to NPR. That's right, because I'm better than the people that don't. And I hear this story. The government suggests defunding the 988 suicide hotline. I'm like, okay, yeah, like obviously they don't care about mental health. But we'll see. We'll see. Maybe it's not as bad as it sounds. Specifically for LGBTQ plus youth. And then I'm like, oh my God, they're just mask off. They're completely mask off with it. And it's so evil that I just had to kind of sit back and laugh to myself. It's like, you can't get any more evil than cutting funding to a suicide hotline for marginalized youth. It's insane. It's like the most evil thing that someone can come up with. Oh yeah, well, we're gonna make it so that young people kill themselves. That's the most evil thing ever. The Trump administration wants to cut funding for specialized services for LGBTQ plus youth on the 988 Suicide and Crisis Lifeline, according to a leaked budget proposal reviewed by NPR. While anyone in a mental health crisis can call or text 988 and be connected to a trained counselor, the line has specially trained counselors, often with similar life experiences, for high-risk groups like veterans and LGBTQ plus youth. What they get with that specialized services line is that they get somebody who cares, somebody who's been there with them or who has shared experiences, who can understand where they're coming from, and who has been specially trained to address the situations they are dealing with, says Hannah Veselovsky, the chief advocacy officer at the nonprofit National Alliance for Mental Illness, NAMI. Hey, great anime character to be named after. The higher risk of suicide for LGBTQ plus youth has been well documented by surveys, says psychologist Benjamin Miller, an adjunct professor at Stanford. Just last year alone, approximately 40% of LGBTQ youth considered suicide, he says, citing data from the most recent survey by the Trevor Project, an advocacy group for LGBTQ plus youth. 1 in 10 had an attempt, and for those looking for help, only about half could get the help they need. A line like 988 makes it easier for such youth to get mental health support, he adds. The federal government's Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, SAMHSA, illustrates the numbers popularity in this group. It has received nearly 1.3 million contacts from LGBTQ plus people, and since the launch of the 988 hotline in 2022. Just this year alone, in January and February, it's about 100,000 contacts with the line, which means that there are a lot of people who identify as LGBTQ plus who are seeking help through this line, says Miller. And we know that the crisis services geared towards LGBTQ plus youth and young adults works. These services save lives. Taking that service away from 988 could be devastating for individuals, says Veselovsky and other mental health advocates. I'm fearful for the lives that may be impacted if this decision is final, says James Black, CEO of the Trevor Project, which is one of the 7 organizations funded by the federal government to provide mental health and crisis services for the population through 988. Hey, how's it going, me-outs? We were talking about potentially defunding suicide prevention, a suicide prevention program that has strong bipartisan support, and it is a result of the legislation that President Trump himself signed into law in his first term. But the budget has yet to be finalized, adds Black. This is only a draft, and any budget proposal from the White House would need to make its way through Congress. Yeah, right, like that's a complete joke right now. When the Republicans control Congress and they've cucked themselves out to Donald Trump in the White House, like, saying that it needs to go through Congress is saying that Trump needs to, like, wipe his own ass. It's completely meaningless. An earlier stream. Yeah, an early stream while the sun's still up. Should the specialized service on 988 go away, Black wants gay and trans youth to know that they can still reach out to the Trevor Project's own helpline. We will ensure that they know the Trevor Classic that Trevor Classic is theirs 24/7, accessible and ready for them. However, the organization doesn't have the capacity to handle the same volume of calls and chats as 988, adds Black. Veselovsky notes that a recent poll by NAMI shows that 61% of respondents supported specialized mental health services through 988 for high-risk groups like LGBTQ plus youth. So, I mean, what are they going to say? The Republicans are going to say that, oh, well, gay people are getting special treatment because gay people are getting special treatment by having a specialized hotline for them. And it's like, well, they need special treatment because they are an extremely high-risk group. And this line works for them. 100,000 contacts alone in January and February of 2024. 1.3 million contacts since 2022. It was launched in 2022, and Trump himself signed legislation to create it. So it's just, this is a stark example of how far the Republicans have gone, where they've gone from supporting services to help people, to help young people that are experiencing mental health crises. And now, oh, they're gay. They're the gay kids. They don't need any special treatment, so we're gonna cut them. So like, it's just so funny. It's like, what did they say at the beginning? They're like, we don't want trans storybook. We don't want like drag queen storybook hour because it's indoctrinating kids, and maybe they're gonna think that trans people are human, and then they're going to become trans. That's what the argument was before. We need to protect the kids. We need to protect them. So it was about protecting kids, right? We need to eliminate trans ideology from the public space to protect our children. We need to eliminate gayness from our teachers talking about it to protect the children. So it was about protecting children, and now what are they doing? They're getting rid of a service that is specifically to help children. It's specifically for LGBTQ plus youth and young adults. Like, you just can't make this stuff up. So they just want gay people to die. They just want gay people to die. If you're openly gay, they want you to die. If you are closeted, that's fine. But if you have a mental health crisis, then, no one's going to be there to help you. So this is, I mean, there's not much more to say about this. Really, I'm just trying to illustrate how far the Republicans have gone. You can look up like the support for gay marriage by like the Republican support for gay marriage and see that falling. Like, public opinion, same U.S. support for same-sex marriage by party 2024. So this is, what is this? Republicans, yeah, in 2021 is 55%. In 2024, it's dropped down to 46%. And Democrats, it's dropped down like 4. So like, Jesus Christ. I mean, this is probably not super statistically significant, but 10% dip in from 2021 to 2024 for Republicans. Like, you can just see the kind of shitty rhetoric that they've been going after gay people with, and it's really working. Like, that was a huge part of their campaign, gay and trans people. Like, there's that Catholic podcast I listened to where the guy's like, I don't feel comfortable. I wouldn't feel comfortable 10 years ago saying that a man shouldn't be kissing a man in public, but now I feel comfortable. I'm like, okay, there you go. That's a perfect example. Like, the Republican Party is really just going mask off. They're going super radical. They feel like there's no brakes on them. There's no reins on their behavior anymore. And this is the result of that. Now we're going to cut off crisis hotlines that have been proven effective at saving the lives of young adults and young gay people. Or not gay, but LGBTQ plus. It's super mask off, and really, like, these people should not be anywhere near power, but unfortunately they are. So, Republicans have gone hyper mask off when it comes to their treatment of marginalized people. Immigrants, gay people, trans people, they just don't want anyone, even like non-white people with the whole pulling back of DEI. They've gone really partisan and really mask off with that. However, I thought they're supposed to be good at the economy. Look at this. Despite Trump's promised cuts, U.S. spent about $220 billion more in the first 100 days than they did last year. Despite promises to cut spending during the campaign in his first few months in office, President Trump's federal government has spent about $220 billion more in his first 100 days compared to the same time period last year. In fact, the government is now spending more day to day than was spent in 9 of the last 10 years. The exception, 2021, when the government was spending trillions to fight the coronavirus pandemic and prevent an economic disaster. CBS News analyzed the Treasury Department's daily financial reports to track the money flowing out of the government out of every government account each day since President Trump returned to office. Here's a breakdown of what we found. Bro, it's crazy. You can't make this shit up. They're literally spending $2.2 billion more than Biden did in the first 100 days of 2024. And they're like, we've saved so many millions of dollars. What does DOGE say they saved? DOGE savings. So let's look this up. Obviously they overcount. DOGE says it saved $160 billion. Estimated savings, $160 billion. Amount saved per taxpayer, $993. Wow, guys, we can each get $1,000 extra dollars. Never mind that prices are going to go up because of our tariffs and everything's going to double in price. But no, we each saved almost $1,000 more. It's ridiculous, dude. Okay, so obviously they lie about the amount of savings they have. It looks like CBS News has a report on this. Those cuts have cost taxpayers $135 billion. How so? Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE, says it has saved $160 billion through its push to root out wasteful or fraudulent government spending. But that effort may also have come at a cost to taxpayers, with a new estimate from a nonpartisan research and advocacy group estimating that DOGE's actions will cost $135 billion this fiscal year. The analysis seeks to tally the costs associated with putting tens of thousands of federal employees on paid leave, rehiring mistakenly fired workers, and lost productivity, according to the Partnership for Public Service, a nonpartisan nonprofit that focuses on the federal workforce. PSP's estimate is based on the $270 billion in annual compensation costs for the federal workforce. Calculating the impact of DOGE's actions from paid leave to productivity hits, the $135 billion cost to taxpayers doesn't include the expense of defending multiple lawsuits challenging DOGE's actions, nor the impact of estimated lost tax collections due to staff cuts. Oh my fucking God. So don't worry, we cut cancer research, we created HIV epidemics in Sudan and Zambia. There's hunger pandemics going on around the world because of the cuts to USAID. We've brought back measles, and we've stopped doing research on COVID, cancer studies, countless things. We shut down our national parks because the rangers cost too much. But don't worry, we actually spent billions of dollars defending our illegal actions, and billions of dollars in having to go through the process of rehiring people that we frivolously fired. You can't make this fucking shit up, man. They spent $220 billion more than Biden did in his first 100 days of 2024. It's just crazy. Like, there is nothing that this administration's doing that is good. Everything they've done is bad. And when we're going to be talking about the tariffs, when we talk about the tariffs and we think about the tariffs and what the Trump administration is saying that the tariffs are there to do, they say they're going to bring back manufacturing jobs. They're saying that they're going to bring back like high-tech jobs and everything's going to be produced in America, and there's going to be like great jobs for everyone. Infrastructure is going to come back, let alone Trump repeal like the CHIPS Act, which actually was going to develop tech manufacturing in the United States, let alone he just put tariffs on everything rather than targeting specific industries that he wanted to build up in the United States. Ignore the fact that tariffs have never historically worked for the United States in terms of building up an industry. Ignore all of that fact. If Republicans want to bring jobs to the U.S., why are they getting rid of great jobs from the government? Why are they cutting government jobs that have benefits, full-time hours, all like good pay, respect? Why are they getting rid of that shit? Even if it's the most frivolous thing ever, even if it's like an inspector to make sure that your chickens are not mentally depressed, and they go around to different poultry farms and they like do therapy with chickens. Even if it's that's a good fucking job. If it's from the government, you're going to get full benefits. You're going to get healthcare. You're going to get paid time off. You're going to have consistency. You're going to have all of the hours that you want. Even if it's like the most frivolous thing, but helping a little bit. Why are Republicans against that? Oh my God. They say that they want to bring jobs back, but they fired hundreds of thousands of federal workers. And the only jobs they've actually created is a demand for lawyers to defend the illegal actions of the government. Like, it's ridiculous. So we know that the government spent $220 billion more in the first 100 days this year than they did in the first 100 days of 2024. That must mean that at least they're stimulating the economy, right? We're operating under a bigger deficit than we did last year, but that money's probably going into the economy and circulating around the economy, correct? Look at this. U.S. economy shrank 0.3% in the first quarter as Trump policy uncertainty weighed on business. They're not only increasing the deficit by 200, like maybe not the deficit, but they're increasing government spending by $220 billion. But they also managed to shrink the economy in the first quarter of 2025. It's just like every single metric you can think of, they've made this country worse. They've made the country worse by every single metric. It's like when Democrats get in charge. Sure, maybe the deficit is going to go up, even though there's not really any evidence that Democrats increase deficits more than Republicans. In fact, let's see, what was the deficit increase? Deficit increase by... But if the U.S. debt by president, dollar and percentage, if Democrats increase the deficit and they increase government spending, that usually goes back into the country and it creates jobs, it creates infrastructure, it increases the GDP. But what has Trump done? He spent money on his fascism vanity project. He spent money on firing people and then rehiring them, defending those illegal actions in court. He spent money on ICE and all of their detention. He's given millions of dollars to Venezuela to hold, or not Venezuela, El Salvador to hold our prisoners. He's spending money on fascism. And this is the result of that shit. Oh my God. National debt is an extremely important issue. Okay, so what are the takeaways? 36.2 trillion, measuring debt by president. Debt by president, Franklin D. So FDR, percent change, and that's obviously with the New Deal and getting a bunch of infrastructure inside of the country. Woodrow Wilson, Ronald Reagan, 160.8%. Oh yeah, how do those trickle-down economics work with you Republicans? George W. Bush, Barack Obama, George H.W. Bush, Donald Trump first term, Richard Nixon, Joe Biden. Bro, are you fucking... Like, it's all Republicans. It's all Republicans. And then you had Obama in there who did Obamacare. And, like, once again, the Democrats increase the debt and it goes back into the country. The Republicans increase the debt and it goes into the pockets of the hyper wealthy. It's just... There's nothing good about Republicans. Like, I'm thinking, like... Democrats fucking suck. Don't get me wrong. You have people like Elise Stefanik saying that, oh, let's just be Republicans from like 15 years ago. Like, fuck the woke people. You have Amy Klobuchar being like, I'm going to work on a bipartisan AI deal while the country's burning down around me. And I think that's a good thing to focus on. Democrats suck. Don't get me wrong. But Republicans are just scum. They're just like shit you'd find on the bottom of your shoe. Why does anyone give them any respect? I have no idea. They're just awful in every single way. Like the ports Port traffic, let's see, port traffic, USA. China freight traffic sees steep drop. Okay, yeah, that's true. USA port traffic. (2022). I don't want to see that. Okay. Let's just look this up. Port of Los Angeles shipping volume will plummet 35% next week. So the shipping volumes are plummeting 35%. That's going to cause cascading effects where prices are going to increase. People are going to be laid off from their work, which means even less money going around the economy. We're going to go into a recession, man. I mean, we've already had 1 quarter of shrinkage. There's no way this is going to turn around in the next 3 months. There's no way that's happening. We're going to go into a recession. The dollar's dropping because no country wants to be associated with the United States. Instead of being a global recession like COVID was, or like the 2008 financial crash was, this is like a hyper-localized recession to the United States. It's just like, if you don't deal with the United States, then you're not going to be harmed by this. Donald Trump's also deported tons of people, even if they're in the country legally, even if they have green cards, even if they have student visas, even if they're trying to apply to a visa, people are getting detained, like foreign nationals are getting detained. They're getting held in ICE detention facilities and then shipped off weeks later without any kind of recourse to fight against this, without any kind of due process at all. And now the United States is under a travel advisory warning by countless countries around the world. Let's look this up. Travel advisory warning. Not the United States. What countries? What's going on with travel warnings to the USA? Ooh, okay, I kind of just want to read this. Like, this isn't what I was looking for. Foreign travel advice, USA. This is gov.uk. Safety and security, terrorism. There is a high threat of terrorist attack globally affecting UK interests and British nationals, including from groups and individuals who view the UK and British nationals as targets. Stay aware of your surroundings at all times. Terrorism in the USA. Terrorists are very likely to try and carry out attacks in the USA. Attacks could be indiscriminate, including in places visited by foreigners. You should remain aware of your surroundings, keep up to date with the local media reports, and follow the advice of local authorities. Targets could include transportation networks, public events. Joke's on you, we don't have transportation networks in our country. Crime, protecting your belongings, violent crime. Protests are common and can become violent. Laws and cultural differences. U.S. states may have different laws. While you are in a state, you are subject to both that state's laws as well as national law. Personal ID, alcohol laws, illegal drugs and prison sentences, LGBT plus travelers. The U.S. is a very diverse society, and attitudes towards LGBT plus people differ hugely across the country. You can find more detail on this. Read more advice. Road travel, vehicle safety, petrol stations, air travel. Is this updated for like the new administration? Let's see. UK travel advisory, travel warning USA. USA travel advice. Britain beefs up warnings over US border enforcement by Reuters. On what? London, March 20th, Reuters. Britain has in recent weeks revised its advice for citizens traveling to the United States to include a warning that anyone found breaking its entry rules could face arrest or detention. Since taking office on January 20th, President Trump has announced a number of immigration-related executive orders that focus on stricter border policy, tighter visa vetting procedures, and a crackdown on undocumented migrants in the U.S. On Wednesday, Germany updated its U.S. travel advisory to emphasize that a visa or entry waiver does not guarantee entry after several Germans were detained at the border recently. Current British travel advice for the United States, published online by Britain's Foreign Office, stated, "You should comply with all entry, visa, and other conditions of entry. The authorities in the U.S. set and enforce entry rules strictly. You may be liable to arrest or detention if you break the rules." Archived versions of the same website showed that at the beginning of February, the guidance had only said the U.S. authorities in the U.S. set and enforce entry rules. So basically being like, nah, you're liable for arrest and detention. And once again, if you break the rules, like what is breaking the rules? Breaking the rules is criticizing the president or criticizing the current administration on your phone. That's what breaking the rules is. Earlier this month, in response to media reports that a woman had been detained for more than 10 days at the border over a possible breach of her visa conditions, the Foreign Office confirmed it was providing support to a British national detained in the United States. The woman has since returned to Britain, local media responded. So it's like no one wants to come to this country anymore. We're deporting people that are coming to this country to study. Like, we're literally doing a brain drain in the US. Not only are we deporting people that come to the country to study and do research in America, we're also defunding universities that are doing research because of their stance on like trans people. Like, just every single thing has gotten worse. And once again, if we're talking about helping the children, how is defunding a crisis hotline, even if it's not specifically the hotline for youth, for LGBTQ plus youth, even if it's just defunding a crisis hotline, like altogether across the board, how is that helping the kids? Like, what the fuck is going on? Like, I'd rather have a trans athlete beat me in a sport and then have a hotline that I can call than like getting rid of the trans athlete and also the hotline. Like, how is this something that people are thinking is acceptable? Oh, but don't worry, it's got to go through Congress. Oh, wow, look at this. We saved $160 billion. Just forget about the fact that we spent $220 billion more than last year. It's so ridiculous. Yeah, now we'll be able to afford a house. Okay, so this was something that I wanted to talk about a little bit. Let's see. Let me change this. So I don't know how many of you guys saw this video that I made, but I made a video talking about a Reddit post that someone made, and the Reddit post was unhinged, to say the least. So I'm not gonna replay it because I think it's been said before. Like I put out a video. I went to bed. When I woke up, it had like about 2,000 views, something like that. And I had an email in my channel email, and this is what the email said. This was the email. Good evening. I'm writing to request that you remove the video posted today containing a video of my daughter that I posted to the H3 subreddit. Okay, so the video posted today containing a video of my daughter that I posted to the H3 subreddit. Keep in mind, bro, she was? How do you know? Okay, I code red. I need you to let me know how you know that she was trying to get me banned. Like, what the fuck is happening? I saw someone writing that, but I have no idea like where she was trying to get me banned. So guys, keep in mind, this woman posted a video of her daughter, not edited at all, like, right? It's just like, you know, something that like a Facebook mom would post. Oh, look at my daughter, she said something cute. But the cute thing that she posted of her daughter was her daughter saying, I'm gonna walk to if someone sends me skulls in the mail. It was posted on her Reddit account. So that's the thing too. Okay, I've been covering this shit for a while, but I don't have the biggest YouTube channel. I don't know how. Yeah, if you can find the comment and then, I don't know, maybe like send me a link of it. But I don't know how this person found my video so quickly. Once again, it's not like it went viral. It had less than 2,000 views. And she found it literally before I even got up the next day. Like, she found it within the like 6 hours that I was asleep, like 6-7 hours that I was asleep. And she sent that to me. Like, what the actual fuck? Anyway, so guys, like, obviously don't brigade her or do anything like that. But I just have to read you the email on my end. No, you can't send links in YouTube chat, but if you email me a link, then I can open it. And you can find should be the second top comment. Yeah, it was weird. It was weird how fast it was. That's like the concerning thing to me. If it has to do with the H3, the snarks will immediately find it. Maybe. So anyway, guys, like, the video was so wild, I had to cover it because I'm like, this is not normal behavior at all. You're posting a video of your child fantasizing about, like, going to kill someone, and you're obviously, like, encouraging your kid and egging her on. And you're, like, laughing when she's like, I'm going to go shoot this person, and just repeating memes from an H3 podcast. Update. Ooh, it should be update on the child's skull post on r/leftovers. Okay, I'll take a look at that. Let me search that up real quick just on my phone. Update on the child's skull post. 36 comments. All right, I'll just pull this up. Never even got to see your vid about it. Yeah, it's like my subscribers are seeing this. Okay, so I just want to make sure that, like, her account wasn't on here because she's like, oh, you posted my account name in your video, and actually that's doxing my child, so I'm going to you posted a video, and, like, I know you covered my daughter's face. She's like, I know that you covered my daughter's face, but okay, like, I don't see. So she posted in my comment section, a child skull post sounds really wrong. Update on the child's skull. Yeah, it does sound wrong. I'm not gonna lie there. But anyway, let me just read you guys the email that she sent to me. So, good evening. I'm writing to request that you remove the video posted today containing a video of my daughter that I posted to the H3 subreddit. Keep in mind, the H3 subreddit has 600,000 members. My video got less than 2,000 views. While you used an image to cover her face, you still showed the source of the video and my username. So the source of the, like, once again, what are we doing here? The source of the video is in a subreddit with a much higher subscriber and view count than my channel does. How is me putting out a video with less than 2,000 views worse than you posting a video to a subreddit with 600,000 people? And my username, making it easy for the most unhinged H3 detractors to identify my daughter by finding the original post. So she's basically being like, your video with less than 2,000 views will help people find the video on the subreddit with 600,000 members. While I understand this online feud is a great way to farm views, I would suggest that in future you be more thoughtful in the way you approach criticism of H3 fans. It's like, oh my god, girl, I literally, yeah, I mean, that's also true. I should show my sources. Like, I covered your daughter's face. You posted that to a much broader venue, to a place with a much wider audience than anything I did. And I covered up her face. You didn't do that at all. I'm asking, oh yeah, the only person depicted and easily identified from your video is a 4-year-old girl. It's done nothing to me, the adult with the opinions you take issue with. Oh, like, I covered up your daughter's face. I didn't blur out your username. But once again, if I covered up the source of the video, I'm not going to say that I found it on a random spot in the internet. I found it on the H3 subreddit. People can find that on the subreddit. There's way more people on that subreddit than what watches my channel. I'm asking that you remove your video and comb through the subreddit again to find another juicer that isn't exploitative towards a child. Thank you. So she's like, find another juicer? I don't even know what that means. Maybe, is she talking about, like, herself? She's a juicer? Isn't that like an XQ, what is it, XQ3? XQC thing? Isn't that an XQC thing? That they're juicers? Well, I understand that this online feud is a great way to farm views. I would suggest in the future that you be more thoughtful in the way you approach criticism of H3 fans. I was more thoughtful than you were. The only person depicted and easily identified from your video is a 4-year-old girl. it's done nothing to me, the adult with the opinions you take issue. Well, I mean, I made the video insulting you. I didn't insult your daughter in this. Some more news appeared. I'll laugh if she sends this whole thing to Ethan and says, look what they're doing. Hasan fans are coming after my kids. Juicer equals gets a lot of attention. So anyway, I get that message, and I'm like, okay, listen. Simply saying, oh, I'm sorry, I'm going to delete the video, and I'd appreciate if you deleted the video, I'd be like, why can't you just say, I'm sorry, you called me out on my bullshit behavior, please delete the video out of respect for my child. She's got to be like, no, I understand that you're trying to farm views, but I think that you should be more respectful in the future and farm views in a different way, that one that doesn't exploit a child. I'm like, holy fucking shit, you're the one exploiting a child. You're the one exploiting a child to get views. I'm not exploiting anything. I'm calling out your unhinged behavior where you're exploiting your child to get views on your favorite podcast subreddit. Like, that was just insane to me. And the fact that she doesn't have any remorse in what she did and is instead insisting on attacking me for calling out her unhinged behavior just shows me that these people are so far gone. They're so far gone. So I say, hi, thank you for reaching out. I appreciate your criticism and understand your valid concerns. I will take the video down out of respect for your daughter's privacy. And I sent that email because I looked at the subreddit and I didn't find the video of her kid anymore. So I'm like, okay, if she deleted the video of her kid, that's kind of the whole point of me making a video about this, to call out like an unhinged behavior and show that this is getting really weird and almost dangerous, where now people are posting like uncensored videos of their children fantasizing about killing the people that are criticizing their favorite podcaster. I'm like, the whole point of me making this video was kind of to call out unhinged that kind of content is. And the fact that she seems to realize it's not a good idea to post a video of my child talking about this stuff, that's good enough for me. I don't need my video on YouTube anymore. So I took down my video and I said, I'm going to take it down out of respect for your daughter's privacy. And then she says, I appreciate that. As long as that's done, I won't continue to comment on your videos or pursue anything further. Thank you. So once again, like, acting like it's my problem for her posting her daughter and putting her daughter online like that. It's fucking crazy. So anyway, I do need to show you something about this. So this isn't anything more to do with the kid, but it is funny to me. And I think she was like in my videos comment sections and being like, she was like, how can she was saying such random shit. She was like, oh, can I get this person's channel taken down? She was like coping so hard. And then she was like, how can he say that one person posting their kid is representative of the entire H3 audience? I'm like, holy shit. Holy shit. So look, I've got to defend myself a little bit here. So let's do this. This is the redacted comment section of that video. Whoever sent those skulls better be glad they didn't send them to my kid. And don't worry, I got rid of her username. This is the redacted with everyone's usernames edited out. But look at this shit. The engagement was a lot of engagement. This was up for like less than 8 hours. At the very most, it was 8 hours. And it got 73 upvotes, 25 comments. Whoever sent those skulls better be glad they didn't send them to my kid. Ha ha ha. The fact that her shirt says kind on it, because it was a little girl wearing a shirt that says kind. And she was fantasizing about she was like, if someone sends me skulls, I'm going to go over to that person's house and shoot them with a gun. And then the mom's like, no, haha, don't shoot them with a gun. Please don't do that. So then we get this. The fact that her shirt says kind on it. And the pink Redditor is like the OP. That's the OP. That's the person who posted it. Kind of goblin moded the fuck out. Killing them with kindness. Kindness is the name of the gun. Directed by Quentin Tarantino. So once again, when I say H3 fans are now grooming their kids for Ethan Klein, and they're like, how can you say it's all H3 fans? Well, they're laughing at this like it's normal. They're laughing at it like it's a normal thing to get your kid to be like, yeah, I can't believe how mean they're being to my favorite podcaster, Ethan Klein. We all gotta unlock Goblin mode at some point. I didn't know it started this early. This may potentially be demon mode. Like, bro, the fact that like the fact that you're repeating something, that your favorite podcaster says as a joke about how unhinged he is, and you're like, my daughter's as unhinged as Ethan Klein. That's not a good thing. That's not a good thing whatsoever. I feel like there was a wait, let me finish. Okay, finish. Anyway, I would shoot. All the while eating Taco Bell and wearing a shirt that says kind. She's canceled. Sorry it had to end so soon, kid. It's like, yeah, holy fuck. You post a video of your child, and then people in the comments are jokingly responding, she's canceled. Maybe that wasn't the best video to post of your child. She clapped when Wendy asked if anyone ever wanted to kill somebody. Somebody get this girl a button. Once again, the joke being she shouldn't have posted that shit. So I started blasting. She's so unhinged, I can't. Bro, this mother is unhinged. Also very Ethan coded. Just like, once again, guys, there's only one slightly negative comment out of the 75 comments, and they are wondering why I said this is representative of the H3 audience at this point. Your kid has premeditated murder on the mind, LOL. It's giving me that Vine with the little girl yelled, give me my money, and threw the doll across the room, LOL. LMAO, she's adorable, munching away while trying to carefully formulate the most degenerate plan. I love her, LOL. Isn't this exactly what Boogie did? I guess that's like Keemstar's co-host. Strong Nathaniel vibes coming off this little one. Be careful, Snark is gonna take this and say they're getting real death threats, LOL. Like, holy shit. Just, once again, guys, the level of unawareness in what these people are posting. It's a 4-year-old girl being indoctrinated into saying she's gonna kill just random people because the mother thinks it's funny, and so the girl's saying it because it's getting a reaction out of her mom. And now people are commenting on that video and being like, oh wow, the people that she's threatening to kill are gonna say they're getting real death threats from your 4-year-old, ha ha. Like, if this behavior is accepted by a little kid, it's accepted by people to the point where a little kid is saying it and everyone's laughing about it. This podcast is so crazy. The fans are in a different world, man. They're actually in a different world. It's really like they think nothing they do has any consequences. But if someone so much as like sneezes the wrong way and some of the snot gets on Ethan Klein, they will pull out the pitchforks and the torches and they're going to go out and like form a lynch mob on the person. It's honestly kind of scary. Like I say, Mega is a cult. This podcast is just as much of a cult as Ethan Klein is. Is Sam Cedar debating Ethan Klein today? Is that happening? Anyway, almost done with this shit. This is so cute, but please keep your guns away. Please keep your guns locked away for all our safety. We don't own a gun and never would. LOL. Here's why. Yeah, this mother does sound like a teenager. This one's funny. So this is the last comment, and this is when I say there was only one slightly negative one. It's so funny. I'm being a Karen right now. So they're like, oh, don't mind me, I'm just being a Karen, but it feels icky to joke about this. Completely reasonable comment to say it feels like the one person who still has some kind of a moral compass is like, should we really be joking about this? But don't mind me, I'm probably just being dumb. I'm probably just being a Karen. And then the mother responds, I'd suggest not joking about it then. Just the one person who's normal and feels self-conscious about being normal. This is the same mother who made the video. Yeah, this is the same mother who made the video. The one person that's being normal and feels self-conscious about being normal gets completely shut down by the person It's like, I don't think it's funny to post a video of your daughter making death threats about a hypothetical snarker that sent Ethan Klein skulls. And the mother's like, okay, well then don't make any jokes about it. Anyway, guys, I just had to get that done because, like, I needed some kind of closure from this, but it was so wild to me that this woman posts a video of her kid completely uncensored on a subreddit with 600,000 members, a subreddit that's known for doxing people and harassing people. She posts that completely uncensored, full face, like no edits whatsoever to like protect her daughter. Then I make a video pointing out how unhinged that behavior is. I cover her daughter's face, and then I read the comments, and then she gets mad at me. It's like, why don't, if you're afraid of people coming to your profile and seeing your daughter's video from my 2,000 viewed video, delete the video of your daughter. Anyway, I just had to get some closure about that. Did you read the comments that she left on your video? I saw some of the comments being like, wow, he says that that all H3 fans are grooming their kids. It was actually just me. Isn't he a hypocrite, or isn't he just lying for saying it's all H3 fans? I'm like, just shut the fuck up. Like, you literally got 75 upvotes and like 30 comments or 25 comments all congratulating you on doing this and laughing about it with you. Just shut the fuck up. Oh, it's not all H3 fans. Yeah, it's not all H3 fans. Well, it's a lot of them. There was only one, like, that post was still up. It was just deleted by the poster. It was deleted by her because she realized that she was stupid. But, like, once again, I'm not mad she deleted it. The point of me making a video about it was that she should delete it, and that kind of behavior isn't acceptable. Yeah, and instead of like saying, I'm sorry, instead of saying I deleted the video of my daughter and I would appreciate it if you would do the same, because I really don't want anything about her online. I'd be like, okay, I'm glad that you realized you made a mistake, and I'd be more than happy to delete my video. She's like, no, the only person you're hurting with this is my 4-year-old daughter. It does nothing to me. The person whose views you disagree with. Like, just have some fucking humility. She said you posted her video for views. Once again, guys, like, it did not get that many views. I posted the video to call out how ridiculous that behavior is, and I'm glad it turns out that it worked because she deleted her shit afterwards. And anyway, like, it's so ridiculous. So what's happening is I did get a little bit behind. By the way, I am making a video. I am making like an edited video about Ethan Klein, and I'm doing a bunch of stuff on his hypocrisy. I'm doing a bunch of stuff on his hypocrisy, on kind of his behavior. And wait, he's actually talking to Sam Sita right now? What the fuck? Oh shit! Why did no one tell me?
Peace partners in Gaza before
you guys are lacking. You guys are
the whole
lacking.
thing. Like, obviously they approached it completely wrong.
Oh my god, Ethan's so stupid. He's such a fucking idiot. He's actually so ridiculously dumb. When did he start talking to Samuel Alice? Uncle Sam? Dude, this is like when your alcoholic estranged uncle meets the uncle you actually like at the family reunion. And then you have to see them interact with each other.
Noticing.
She won't look away from you.
She's probably reading chat on screen.
She's not blind.
Dude, I thought he wasn't going to talk to him.
That's his girlfriend. That would be unfortunate.
Watch her. Well, just look at the way she's just staring into your.
Yeah, no, I got you.
We need to watch him.
To box iDubbbz is a bad.
We need to watch him react to some kind of like white girl now.
I had to decline that because
This sustained eye contact.
if I were to lose the iDubbbz, I would be upset.
What is
Is she
happening?
Mormon?
I don't think so.
I'm getting glazed.
All right, I'm just going to go 2x speed until he starts talking to Sam.
Mormon.
I've
Never
never.
thought it's crazy. Anyway, we're supposed to be listening to Ice.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
But for Creator Clash, but I had to decline that. because
Ethan is
if I were to
smart
lose
for
iDubbbz,
staying chill.
I would be extremely embarrassed.
All right, I'm gonna delete this really quick. Why? Yeah, I'm just deleting this. BE said he'll do all of these debates to distract from the fact that he won't sue Noah. Oh, of course he's not going to sue Noah. I went through that. Guys, you saw my live streams where I went through that with a fine-tooth comb. Like, he had no standing whatsoever. They're like, oh, you said that Ethan Klein lied about Hezbollah, but you ignored all of the things he said about Hezbollah that were actually true and instead focused on the one lie he said about Hezbollah. What? Yeah, of course. Of course. Like, why is that something that a lawyer would ever write? It's ridiculous. Plus, the lawyers lied about a ton of stuff that Ethan Klein did. He's claiming iDubbbz messaged him to participate in CC. Guys, I have to be honest, I could not give less of a fuck about Creator Clash. Like, boxing is boring at the professional level. I'm not gonna watch some fucking shitty out-of-shape scrubs. Oh shit. Oh shit. Bro, I'm so excited for this. Like, Sam Cedar just fucks in debates. And about Israel and Palestine, like, what the fuck is Ethan gonna say? What is this motherfucker gonna say? Okay. Like, Ethan has no idea what he's talking about. He really has no fucking clue. He's like, I think that Israel should exist in an ethno-state. And Sam's like, well, that's probably not going to be a good idea. And Ethan's like, you're anti-Semitic. Like, bro.
Yes, it is. Hey, are we live now?
We are live on the H3 channel, yes.
I wish I had a bingo card for this.
Sort of apologizing in that I sent you a DM on Twitter 6 months ago or something. I was just going through to find out, and then I just realized you're no longer on Twitter.
Yeah.
So that explains why I didn't hear back.
He may no.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
So, right off the bat, what are the things before we get into this? And guys, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to watch all of this. I'll have to stream later tonight. But right off the bat, what are the things that what are Ethan Klein's positions on Israel? Well, his positions on Israel are, famously, it's not a genocide. Now, granted, like, it's a genocide, it's a genocide, but it wouldn't be inaccurate to say that it's ethnic cleansing. So if Ethan Klein says it's not a genocide, it's ethnic cleansing, that's still a cause for concern. That's still something where you'd look at him and be like, where are your priorities at? Why would you say that? But it's not completely inaccurate to say it's just an ethnic cleansing. It's still a weird fucking thing to say. But if Ethan Klein says it's ethnic cleansing in Gaza, it's ethnic cleansing in the West Bank, that would be fine. So let's write down these positions. Let's write down these positions. So he does say it's, well, the thing is, Ethan Klein has never actually took like a definitive position on this. He says that it's a war. He says that it could be a genocide. That's what he said. But he says it's a war way more than he says it's a genocide. And he's even gone so far to say that, no, Israel is justified in bombing hospitals because Hamas has military strongholds underneath hospitals. So there's that. Not a genocide, war, maybe ethnic cleansing. However, Ethan has gone away from the position that he's in his Bukele suit. Ethan has gone away from the position that Israel has all of the power in this scenario. And it does seem like he's shifted more and more towards the position that it's actually the onus on ending the war is on Hamas. War, so maybe ethnic cleansing. Oof, my handwriting is not good. Onus is on Hamas to end. So that's just a definitive position that Ethan has. He made a tweet in 2021 that he's thrown up there to say, oh, look at me, I'm a smart guy talking about this issue. He made a tweet in 2021 saying that, no, Israel has all of the power in this situation. That is no longer a position that he holds. If he says that, like, look, listen, guys, if Ethan Klein changes his positions in this debate with Sam Cedar, that would be a good thing. That would actually be a great thing if Sam Cedar gets Ethan to change his positions on this. So onus is on Hamas to end war. So that's like something definitive that Ethan Klein believes in. And then Ethan also supports the ethno-state of Israel. So Ethan supports the ethno-state of Israel because ethno-state? Because the Arabs would just kill all of the Jews if the Arabs ever had a demographic majority within Israel's borders. So Arabs would do pogroms. And that's just an Islamophobic thing to say. There's no evidence of that whatsoever. Once again, he will rewrite history and say that the Jewish expulsion from Arab countries, or the Jewish exodus of from Arab countries, was solely due to pogroms, and ignore all of the pull factors that Israel was doing to try to get Jews to immigrate to Israel. So he's just completely he's completely Islamophobic in this regard. And the one thing that we also need to remember is that Jews also left Europe to go to Israel, but Ethan doesn't seem to not want Jews to live in Germany. He seems to not want Jews to live in Poland or England or any of these other places that Jews left. He just focuses on, well, Jews left Arab countries to move to Israel, and they can't have Arabs living with them. It's like, okay, then why don't you leave America? Jews don't have a demographic majority in America. Why don't you leave there? Aren't you afraid for your safety there? So did we get everything? It's not a genocide. It's a war. It's maybe ethnic cleansing. The onus is on Hamas to end the war, and Ethan supports the ethno-state of Israel because Arabs would do pogroms. All right, let's continue. I think we covered everything.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I wish I would have, but honestly, I don't know what to do, because I want to get off Twitter, but also it's kind of a pain because Twitter is the way that I would reach out and speak to most people. But I also don't want to be on a platform that's owned and perpetuates basically Nazi shit. So
yeah, this was yes, I understand that.
Someone needs to record their chat. I'm not going to watch it, but it's recorded, right? Maybe I'll go after. Maybe I'll go back afterwards and watch it.
But I just wanted you to know I did reach out, and it was on me not to realize that. I just assumed he didn't want to respond. But
okay, well, that's nice to know that you reached out. I appreciate that. And the reason.
Oh, wait a second. Wait. Hold on. Before we get into this, I need to poison the well a little bit. I need to poison it a little bit, guys. Just because it's so funny. This show is so fucking stupid. They sent 2 human skulls. Good thing a 4-year-old girl wasn't there, because then we'd have some homicide cases. Come on, give me the CPS shit. CPS. Play it.
I really don't want you to create any bad memory here for them. They are 5 and 3. They don't understand this shit.
Transcript.
So I told him, if you want to come, and I'm gonna tell them that you're our friend, and I'm gonna be there, and you can ask them questions as our friend. We can do that, but anything beyond that is not happening.
I do want to clarify that guy was very nice and understanding.
The guy was nice. I have no problem with the guy.
So glad the CPS agent was nice.
It's not related.
Control F. Sam. Oop.
That needs to talk to Sam Cedar.
Yeah, Sam Cedar, another one I'm ready to burn.
By the way, Sam Cedar.
Why would she say that? It's so fucking ridiculous. Why would she say Sam Cedar, another one I want to burn?
Is that it's not always easy. People want to stand by their principles. They want to be these heroic advocates, but they don't want to risk fucking anything. Mm-hmm. Hasan should go to Gaza. And if he doesn't, he should be severely judged by his audience for being a total fucking coward.
It's part of why I judge him. He doesn't know shit about that conflict. He's never been to Gaza, never been to Israel. He doesn't know shit about it.
No, he doesn't.
He does not. But he talks with such authority. Oh my God. You would think he's been there 5 times since October 7th already.
You sound like someone that needs to talk to Sam Cedar.
Yeah.
This is out of the blue. Why the fuck is Ela saying that Sam Cedar's another one? Ethan's just making a joke about Hasan. He never even mentioned Sam Cedar, but then Ela just picks up the ball and runs with it in the opposite direction. It's yeah, fuck Sam Cedar.
Cedar, another one I'm ready to burn.
By the way, Sam Cedar agrees with me. I saw a clip of him the other day being saying that he's two-state.
He's not two-state, you dumb motherfucker.
No.
Two-state.
I was if he agrees with you, because he also protects Hasan at all costs.
Yeah, they.
So.
That's right.
These people are such jokes. Okay, so listen, I'm trying to farm clips for this video that I'm making, and it's just so funny. It's so funny. Sam Cedar, another one I want to burn. Where was the one where they're like, I want to talk to Sam. I want to talk to Sam. I might talk to Sam. Where's the one where they reacted to Sam Cedar? My computer's being so slow. Content cop, bathroom breaks, Bolivian. Talking to Sam Cedar. Okay, that wasn't the one. I think it was this one then. They sent 2 skulls.
Now, I think that the people on his show are disgusting.
Oh, I had it right at the spot. I think that the people on his show are disgusting. Okay, we honestly don't need any more of that. And then the other... Oh, okay, we're just one more clip, and this isn't as big of a deal.
She's at the end.
You were skinny. Like,
This is that I actually... The chauvinist... My Zionist wife is like... You don't get to just skirt Israelis.
Before I went on vacation, of that, when the person I am saying that I was pronouncing something wrong or something.
Oh, yes.
And apparently,
That's it. They saying I said he's racist because of that.
Oh, yes.
I was trying to mock their handle on IM, referred to it as a moniker,
Right.
and then tried to pronounce it in different ways.
Rough
And
word to do that on.
I saw the clip, and it does look bad, but it also
Okay, well, so that's it. It was funny. Like, can we just admit
It was a pretty, yeah, I mean, it was
a funny
lighthearted.
clip. Like, what the fuck, man?
I think a rather uncharitable thing, but they seem to be upset at me for something.
Really? Well, no.
I think he's being, he's clearly,
He's being fed a bunch of
he's
bullshit.
being fed bullshit. That message from the fan, the way
The
they framed it
crew,
was
all
just-
this crew are like everyone on his crew is like psychotic, in my opinion. They're like far left. Just like
Bro,
Hasan
it's
Sims,
so nutty.
toe the line of everything.
Oh yeah, they're Hasan Sims. It's not like they have moral values that they adhere to, but no, they're psychotic far left Hasan Sims. Fucking ridiculous, man.
That people say about me. I'll talk to Sam. I have nothing to hide. People think that I'm hiding from him. Well, guess what? I will speak with your approved Jew, and I will prove to you guys that me and another approved Jew can work it out. You know what's ironic is that I probably have the same exact opinion he has about Israel. We're gonna talk and be like, oh, so why does everyone hate you? Good question. Let's have a conversation. Let's call in right now. I'm ready.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do
because
that.
you don't think Hasan is a racist, I think, is the problem.
There you go. That's Matt. That's his characterization. According to his enlightened leftist crew member, my problem with Sam is that he doesn't think Hasan is racist. I don't even have a problem with Sam. I don't think I've ever even criticized him. I've shit on you.
Anyway,
Matt.
so he's like, yeah, Sam Cedar is a piece of shit. Just once again, the joke in question is this.
I watched it. So at first I was like, I think that was an accident. He tried to stick the
heard this
landing.
before from
But
the-
after watching it a few times, I think he was doing a joke that he didn't have a button for.
Uh-oh.
Let's-
I haven't seen it.
I think it's complete
I'm
You haven't
curious
seen
what
this?
we're about to see. Yeah.
So
Here we go. Listen carefully.
Ethan insisting that Sam's doing a joke, a racist joke, and the joke is, what's the joke? Oh, I'm going to say the N-word. That's the joke that Ethan thinks Sam did. So he knowingly attempted to say the N-word, but he just didn't have a button. The thing that Ethan thinks that's the way of the future and all podcasts are going to have going forward.
I've heard this before from at least you. I don't know what moniker you were using at the time. Or did I say that right? Moniker?
Oh.
I know that was pretty.
Wait, wait, keep playing.
Moniker?
What?
Monocle?
Hey, so
Nomenclature?
Oh God, Emma's panicking.
addressed the factual accuracy of Brandon
I think it was just he was trying to say the word in a different way, and he got very unlucky.
I think he.
Well, because he said monocle after, so
Yeah.
I'm
So
thinking.
he was trying to play it off because he knew it was awkward.
Well, I think he mispronounced it maybe at a previous point. And that's why he's like, did I say it correctly? And then.
Yeah.
No, but he said it smarmy like he was doing a joke.
I don't
Watch
think
it again.
Sam
Watch
Cedar
it
would
again.
sit
Ethan fights his entire crew who are accurately pointing out what happened and says, no, Sam was saying it smarmy like he was saying a joke. He actually just wanted like a veil to allow him to say the N-word. Also, thanks for the super chat, NJ Ranger. Far leftist, Hasanist, third worldist, Matt Lech. Yep, exactly. Also, Juliet, who are you watching? Just came from an idiot stream. I'm so curious. Maybe I should. I love talking to idiots. I love talking to them.
I mean, obviously.
Anyway, so I just thought it was so funny that Ethan's like, no, Sam's a great guy, but everyone on his crew fucking sucks. Like, you can't make this shit up. And this is the motherfucker who's like, oh my god, Ian Idubbbs McGee, or whatever his last name is it's such a below the belt shot to target my crew. And it's like, he wasn't targeting your crew, you fucking moron. He was pointing out hypocrisies in your treatment of the crew versus your treatment of other people. Oh, Hutch? Hutch is a fucking moron. Hutch is so dumb. Oh, is he watching this? I actually did have a conversation with Hutch. Ethan being disingenuous and then acting like he wasn't being disingenuous. Okay. All right, let's go.
People have been pushing for this conversation. I don't know if you...
Also, I want to get into it, but when Ethan's like, oh yeah, I'm going to talk to Sam, and then he's like, and we can be so Jewish together. It's so gross, man. Once again, people are telling you to talk to Sam Cedar, not because he's Jewish, but because he's a respected voice in progressive online politics. He's such a respected voice that you respect him, and you brought him on to debate Steven Crowder when you're like, I'm too dumb, I can't debate Steven. So you bring on Sam, and then you just make a joke about him being Jewish? That's literally like anti-Semitic. That's literally you being like, okay, I know that like you're super qualified to have this conversation, but people really just want me to talk to you because you're Jewish, right? Like that's the thing. Let's just all be Jewish together and do all of these Jewish traditions together. We'll put on like a clown show. No, dude, like shut the fuck up. Him being Jewish has nothing to do with him being a respected voice on this issue. The only reason Hasan brought it up is because you said, oh, you're not Jewish. How can you tell me, a Jew, how to feel about this issue? You were the one that put the prerequisite to being Jewish to have a conversation with you. God damn it. Juliet, I wanted to watch Hutch. I wanted to watch, like, now you're making me want to watch Hutch on this shit.
Know, like, the whole lore of it, the background of it.
I mean, this is all I know is that Hasan reached out to me sometime. I mean, I got in touch with you October 24th, and I said that I was meaning to reach out for a couple of weeks. So I assume it was sometime in early October. And I thought we were just going to do this off air. But my understanding is that he...
Oh, Sam, you innocent man. You think that Ethan's going to have a conversation with you about this off air? This is what Ethan's channel has become. Drama farming. Bro, Ethan needs to squeeze every last drop of juice out of this issue. What for his podcast to survive. Oh my god. Sam thinking he's gonna have a conversation with Ethan off air. All right, that was cute.
You and he were getting into it, and you felt like because he wasn't Jewish, he didn't have a perspective on this, and that's why he suggested that you speak to me.
Holy shit, bro, Sam coming in right off the bat with an accurate representation of what happened. Please, Ethan, please deny this so we can look up the clip. Please deny it so we can look up the clip, Ethan.
I don't speak for all Jews, just to be clear.
Right.
I speak only for myself.
No, only Ben Shapiro speaks for all Jews.
As a in any form.
Well, Sam, allow me to speak for all Jews, if I may, today.
Please.
No, but actually, I mean, that's a total mischaracterization.
Yes. Immediately he says that's a mischaracterization. Oh my fucking god, dude. Holy shit. He's so fucking predictable. Immediately he says that's a mischaracterization. Okay. Hold on. We need to look this up. Ethan Klein talks to Hasan. Nah, we're probably gonna get some like new stuff. All right, let's just pull up his Hasan's YouTube channel because I know he posted the VOD there. Where's Hasan's YouTube channel? Here it is. Immediately says it's a mischaracterization. Ethan Klein. Let's just look this up. iDubbbz versus Ethan Klein. Ethan Klein versus Hasan Piker explained. Destiny's Community. Okay, this one. Bro, this thumbnail is so wretched. I no longer believe in a Jewish state. Let's just look up Jews, I guess. Show transcript. Is the Majority Report streaming this as well? No, it doesn't look like it. They could be streaming it. Let's see. Talk or feel. This is not going to be good. Feel. How are you going to? I feel like you're not understanding. I feel like, Israel's become. Let's just look up Jewish Voice for Peace. Show me one Jew. Oh yeah, name one Jew that believes in from the river to the sea. Name one. Let's see if that's going to be in the transcript. Come on, transcript. Let's go. All right, let's just search for peace. For peace. Jewish Voice for Peace. Jews, the economic existence of Jews. It's not very persuasive.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. Jewish people are at the forefront of the anti-apartheid, anti-Zionist activism. Jewish Voice for Peace, Jews for economic and
the existence of Jewish people doesn't. I don't. That point is not very persuasive. I mean, of course there is.
What do you? Of course, it's. I think it's very important
because
if
there's
it was
Israelis that say it.
No,
therefore, a minority or Jewish people shouldn't be offended by it because some people say it. I mean.
No, I think because Jewish people, I'm not going to talk about this as like Jewish people in general. The reason why I brought up Jews for Jewish Voice for Peace and other groups using this as well, like Jews themselves in America using this anti-Zionist slogan, indicates that this slogan isn't one that is about the evisceration of Jews. If that was the case, then they wouldn't use it.
I'm telling you that the mere existence of Jewish voices doesn't. It's not a leg to stand on. I don't understand that.
But
of course, there's going to be
failing.
Israeli
But the most important component,
open to new ideas.
He's been utilized as a slogan for emancipation and never for anti-Semitism.
So they're talking about from the river to the sea right now.
Hamas adopted it. The reason why Hamas co-opted it when they had 3% support as opposed to the PLO, which had 83% support, right? Alongside the PLO was because it was the slogan that was the slogan for Palestinian emancipation.
Oh yeah, this part.
This does not mean that that slogan changed. It's motivated by Jews against anti-Zionist Jews.
Seriously, how can you? I think most Jews.
I don't think Jews at large view it. I don't care about how Israelis view it. I will admit that I don't.
And Jews at large. I think I think most Jews.
I don't think Jews at large view it. I don't think that is the.
In what position are you to even say that?
So Ethan says that Jews at large view the phrase "from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free" as genocidal, and then Hasan says, "I don't think Jews at large see it that way." And then Ethan says, "Who are you to say that?" So let's just rewind that a bit.
As well, it's just a matter of where the motivations lie. You have to look at
how Israelis view it. Is that you're saying that Israel,
I don't care about how Israelis view it. I will admit that I don't.
And Jews at large.
So once again, a conflation of Jewish people and Israelis. Ethan seemingly forgetting about the 20% of Israelis that are Palestinian. Just completely forgetting about that. But Ethan says Israelis view this slogan as, I don't know, genocidal or whatever. And then Hasan says, I don't care how Israelis view this slogan. That's like saying that white Southerners, slave owners, viewed like the Emancipation Proclamation as an attack on them and genocidal, like a destruction of their way of life. It's like, I don't give a fuck what slave owners feel like when we're talking about emancipating the slaves. And then Ethan retreats to, okay, well, not Israelis, but Jews at large view it as anti-Semitic. And then Hasan's like, I don't think Jews at large view it that way. And then Ethan's like, who are you to say how Jews feel?
I think I think most Jews.
I don't think Jews
that
at
the
large
phrase-
view it. I don't think that is the.
What in what position are you to even say that?
Well, I'm in the position of like I'm in the position of
telling you that
almost
Jews at
almost
large-
entirely getting. I know my perspective is not motivated by myself. It's motivated by Jews against. I know my perspective is not motivated by myself.
And then he's like, how can you speak for my entire ethnic group?
Entirely getting. I know my perspective is not motivated by myself. It's motivated by Jews against anti-Zionist Jews.
So he's like, how can you speak for my entire ethnic group? Ironically, Hasan isn't speaking for your entire ethnic group. That's what you're trying to do. Ethan's making the positive claim that Jews at large view the claim from the river to the sea as genocidal. Hasan is saying, I don't think that's the case. And then Ethan says, how can you speak for my entire ethnic group? Okay, you're not providing any evidence. You're just saying, no, I'm a Jew. I know these things. Like, how is Hasan supposed to react to that?
Seriously, how can you speak for my entire ethnic group? I find that really interesting.
Well, I don't speak for your entire ethnic group.
How many Jews have you polled about if they find that offensive or not?
It doesn't matter.
How many Jews have you polled about it, Ethan? Oh my God, you're such a little bitch. You don't have any evidence either.
Ethan,
Doesn't matter if a minority group finds something anti-Semitic?
Yes, of course, because we're not talking about Jews at all. We're talking about Israel. This is another. This is a conflation between Israel and.
No, in this case, the perception is because that phrase has been co-opted by terrorist groups and it's been used widely by terrorist groups, and the idea that's being communicated. Although we've talked about the one-state idea today, and the way that we've discussed it definitely seems like more realistic, but people don't think about it that way. They think about basically the state of Israel disappearing.
Israel is the party with all of the power in the structure. Palestinians have no power in the structure. I'm going to listen to the Palestinian voices and tell you the historical reference points as to what from the river to the sea Palestine will be free when talking about it. Just like at
what point can a phrase be co-opted by a terrorist, and then you'd be like, maybe we'll back off that one.
The swastika and the Nazi comparison is actually a wonderful one.
Anyway, guys, I like this goes on, and then Hasan eventually says maybe you should talk to Sam Cedar. But like Ethan's main point of contention is, how can you, a non-Jewish person, tell me how to feel about these things? And like he said this refrain multiple times throughout the podcast, like since October, and he's been like, aren't leftists supposed to listen to minority figures speak their truth? It's so funny. It's like, yeah, dude, like we should give the floor to minority members, but that doesn't mean that anything they say is the truth. We're not like a post-realist society where everyone has a different truth, and that actually changes the facts on the ground. And once again, his main contention is, some groups that have been violent against Israel have used this phrase. Okay, well, they've also used the phrase Free Palestine. Are you going to say that can't be said either? Like, groups that were violent against white people in the emancipation of the slaves in America said freedom. Can we not say freedom anymore? Is that like a violent piece of rhetoric that we need to abandon? It's just so ridiculous. It's nicer playing where that started good background before Sam and Ethan start talking. Well, I had to play it because it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Like, literally, Sam gets on and he's like, Hasan said that, like, he said that you said to Hasan, like, let's just rewind this. He said, you said to Hasan, how can you speak for me because you're not Jewish? So then maybe you'd want to talk to me. And then Ethan's like, that's not what happened at all. And I had to get back to the source to show that's exactly what happened.
I thought we were just going to do this off air, but my understanding is that you and he were getting into it, and you felt like because he wasn't Jewish, he didn't have a perspective on this, and that's why he suggested that you speak to me. I don't speak for all Jews, just to be clear.
Right.
I speak for because he wasn't Jewish, he didn't have a perspective on this.
Yeah, Ethan said, how can you speak for my entire ethnic group? I find that really interesting. He literally said that.
And that's why he suggested that you speak to me. I don't speak for all Jews, just to be clear.
Right.
I speak for only for myself as a in any form.
Well,
whatsoever.
Sam,
So,
allow me to speak for all Jews, if I may, today.
please.
No, but actually, I mean, that's a total mischaracterization, which is kind of my problem with Hasan, which we can get into if you want. We don't even have to talk.
I know I've accused Hasan of denying rapes, promoting terrorism, being misogynist, treating women like shit, supporting other people that do horrible things. But actually, my real kind of problem with Hasan is that he mischaracterizes things a lot. He's a big mischaracterizer. Bro, Ethan's he's so fucking dumb, dude. Like, he just hates Hasan, and his reason for hating Hasan changes with the wind. His reason for being, which is hating Hasan, changes with the shirt on his back. Every day he has a different reason.
About Hasan, but basically, what I told him was that I was citing polling data that shows that about 70 to 80.
Motherfucker, you were not citing polling data. You can say that you saw data and you're like, oh, well, it looks like most Jews don't support Jewish Voice for Peace. But that's not what you were doing in the conversation with Hasan. You could have said at any point, no, I've seen a poll on this, and it looks like most Jews in the diaspora don't support Jewish Voice for Peace, and actually they support Israel. And then Hasan would have to say to that, well, I'm sorry they feel that way. I don't give a fuck, though, because that doesn't justify a genocide. And saying from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free is an emancipatory phrase. It's not asking for the genocide of Israel. Unless you think that Palestinians existing is inherently genocidal against Israel.
80% of diaspora Jews have some kind of positive feelings towards the state of Israel. And he was disagreeing with me. And
also, that's a ridiculous thing. That's a ridiculous thing to say. What do you saying that 80% of diaspora Jews have some kind of positive feelings towards Israel doesn't mean that they think the phrase from the river to the sea is anti-Semitic or calling for genocide. That's so ridiculous to bring that up. Let's see if Sam Cedar talks about that. Once again, the polling I've seen on this is that it's something like 70 to 75% of diaspora Jews think that was Hasan in the chat? There's something like
this is available by polls.
There's something like 70 to 75% of Jews in the diaspora have negative feelings towards Jewish Voice for Peace. Something like that. And is Hasan in this chat? Anyway, the whole thing though is that even if that's true, you still can't say that all Jews support Israel or all Jews are against Jewish Voice for Peace. Like, once again, you're ignoring the 25 to 30% of Jews that are anti-Zionist. Like, that's a ridiculous thing on its face to define Jewishness and get rid of 20. Like, that'd be like me saying, oh yeah, all Americans hate Trump. It's like, no, that's not true. We know that there's a big portion of Americans that really like Trump. And you can't just ignore that fact. And so Ethan continuously trying to just make the claim that all Jews support Israel is anti-Semitic.
Readily available by Pew Research just last month, showing that, and I don't know if you agree with that or not.
A banned person onto the debate? Who's the banned? Oh, Bad Empanada?
I can pull it up, but 72% of diaspora Jews have some type of at least positive feelings about the state of Israel.
Once again, that means nothing. You can have positive feelings about the state of Israel and still give Palestinians equal rights. Ethan's position is that Israel must remain an ethno-state with a supermajority of Jews, because if they ever don't have a supermajority, then the fucking genocidal, bloodthirsty Arabs are going to do pogroms on Jewish people. Destiny to Dan Saltman? Destiny to Dan Saltman. Ethan equated them with the Gestapos in the clip where he talks with Hasan. Oh yeah, I mean, of course he did. And he'll bring up Candace Owens too, and he'll be like, he's compared Candace Owens to Sam Cedar before. The reason that we don't talk to Candace Owens and that we don't have her be a representative of black people or talk about black issues is because her politics suck. Sam Cedar can talk about Israel-Palestine issues because he has good politics. Like it's not that like Hasan's not saying, oh, go talk to Rabbi Shmuley because he's Jewish. Go talk to any random Jew. It's like, no, talk to the person that we both respect that has good politics. Because, like, once again, Hasan never said talk to Sam Cedar until Ethan made it a big deal that Hasan wasn't Jewish.
I was stating that fact to him, and he was saying that I was wrong. And I said, who are you to talk about this? I did not say that I only listen to Jewish people, which is a little bit of presumptuous and a little insane.
No, I don't think that's not what I took him to say. But yeah, I mean, Hasan is that's irrelevant to me.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that I haven't seen that poll. I've seen ones that have said that they have a connection. They feel a connection, either strong or.
Yeah, Ethan's so full of shit. Like, immediately Sam calls him out on reciting an erroneous poll. How many fucking podcasters or how many producers do you have in the room with you, Ethan? Get them to pull up a poll, and please, for the love of God, don't have AB ask ChatGPT. The level of research is like lower than a middle schooler in 2024. What the fuck is going on in this show?
Somewhat, which is different than positive per se.
So
but regardless, I
think, dude,
yes.
Thank you, Sam.
I don't know your upbringing at all, but I mean, certainly.
Guys, we also have to point out here that this is going to be the peak debate on this issue. As much as Hasan is correct on the issue of Israel and Palestine, and as much as he knows about Ethan, he sucks at debating. He is not a good debater whatsoever. Like, like he does just kind of have that, like, I don't think Hasan's great in interviews unless he's trying to be funny in them. But when he's trying to do like serious interviews, he gets almost like standoffish, really stilted and awkward. Sam is going to be the best person to debate Ethan Klein on this.
No. My upbringing, my Hebrew education was, I would say, 1/3 Holocaust, and I'm older.
And then the other thing that Hasan never brought up about this issue, but it's something that I've kind of talked about a bit, is that Sam Cedar actually has life experience living as a publicly Jewish anti-Zionist. And he can talk with Ethan Klein about his experience as being someone who is Jewish and outspoken against the state of Israel, at least in how it exists now. I mean, I would argue Israel's never existed in a good way, but it potentially could, right? If they stop doing imperialism and give equal rights to the people that they're occupying, that would be a great start. It's something that I talked to Matt Lieb about a lot, about how he's been an outwardly anti-Zionist Jew on like a Jewish public figure and his experience. And I think that's really interesting to talk about and hear how Jewish people have navigated this kind of ecosystem that they've found themselves in. And as a Jewish person, as someone who's proud to be Jewish, I think Ethan Klein could gain a lot from talking to someone like Sam Cedar or like Matt Lieb. Like, it doesn't have to just be, I don't know, it doesn't have to just be a debate. And when Ethan's being like, oh, you're so anti-Semitic for saying I need to talk to another Jew, or he's just like a token Jew that you're talking about, it just diminishes the personal experiences that all of these people who have been ostracized from their communities for standing against Israel, it's really diminished them and kind of it has dehumanized them. When he talks about how Matt Lieb is a token Jew, or I'm sorry, I don't know the person, but Frogan's podcast co-host on the Arabs podcast, how he's a token Jew, or he's even called Sam Cedar a token Jew before. Like, it's just gross, and it's not furthering your your cause at all, except to do propaganda for Israel, because we know that Israel hates anti-Zionist Jews, and there's been a big push in the Jewish diaspora, the Zionist Jewish diaspora, and also like in Israel, to excommunicate Jews that speak out against Israel. And there's been a big push to define your Jewishness as a support for the state of Israel. And so when Ethan Klein calls Matt Lieb, Sam Cedar, and Raf, I'm assuming that's the person you're talking about, when he calls all of them token Jews, that is really just doing the state of Israel a huge service by discrediting their Jewishness.
And so this was, in the 70s, 1/3 into the 80s, 1/3 Holocaust, 1/3 Israel, 1/3 Hebrew, Hebrew and Jewish culture. And I certainly feel a strong connection to Israel, but I wouldn't call it positive these days.
Sure. I think what the poll attempts to is basically.
Once again, oh my God, Ethan's still talking about this poll. Once again, Ethan says there is no apartheid within Israel. He says that Israel is a beautiful, multicultural, and free place.
If you ask Hasan or a lot of people on the left, I think.
Bro, get Hasan's dick out of your mouth, Ethan. Talk to Sam Cedar without talking about Hasan. So embarrassing.
An emotional attachment is the way to describe this. So it's like if you think
I certainly have an emotional attachment, and it's not, but it's not. I wouldn't describe it as positive.
This isn't the one, is it, Dan? There's the one that shows 73%.
Sam Cedar is shutting this motherfucker down at every turn.
Diaspora Jews.
Wow, his producer actually sent a study that tried to support Ethan Klein's claim, and Ethan said, "No, I don't accept that study."
Anyway, it doesn't really matter.
And guess what? It was the study that Sam found. His producer sent him the study that Sam cited, and Ethan said, "No, that study doesn't matter at all." Even though Sam was describing how it could matter. Ethan's like, "No, they have positive feelings towards Israel." And Sam's like, "No, I saw a study and it said they had an emotional attachment to Israel. That's something I have, but I don't have positive emotional feelings to it." And Ethan's like, "Okay, well, that study doesn't matter at all." Holy shit, dude, what a fucking coward. All right, let's just look up this study. Emotional attachment to Israel. Oh, AI, thank you so much, AI. Pew Research Center. 7 U.S. Jews' connections with and attitudes towards Israel. 8 in 10 Jews say caring about Israel is an essential or important part of what being Jewish means to them. Nearly 6 in 10 say they personally feel an emotional attachment to Israel, and a similar share say they follow news about the Jewish state at least somewhat closely. So once again, Sam says, I have an emotional attachment to Israel. That doesn't mean I have positive feelings towards it in its current state right now. At the same time, the survey conducted during the final 14 months of the Trump administration, so this was before their genocide too, shows a wide range of views among U.S. Jews about the Israeli government, including some pockets of strong criticism. Fewer than half of U.S. Jews give Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu excellent or good ratings. The study also finds that a slim majority of U.S. Jews have heard about the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement. The vast majority of those who have heard of the movement say they oppose it. The remainder of this chapter explores these and related findings in more detail. For an analysis of how much U.S. Jews say they have in common with Jews in Israel, travel to Israel, attachment to Israel. What is this? This is emotionally attached to Israel. 8 in 10 Jews say caring about Israel. Among U.S. Jews, 57% say they follow news. I mean, bro, if I was Jewish or if there was like a Hungarian ethno-state that was doing imperialism, I'd care about that shit too. Like, I don't know what ethnicity I am. Who gives a fuck? 4 in 10 Jews give U.S. Jews give Netanyahu excellent or good ratings for his leadership. Chapter 5, Biden has no emotional attachment to Israel. It's about politics. That's not true at all. New survey shows lasting impact of October 7th on American Jews. What is this? Is this what they're saying? A year and a half after the October 7th attacks, while many initially expected Jewish involvement to return to pre-war levels over time, the survey results indicate that the so-called surge has shown remarkable staying power. About 31% of American Jews report they are still seeking deeper engagement with Jewish life. Did I miss the study? What? The Jerusalem Post. Where is the information listed in the little blurb? Why do I really need to listen to this? The study, conducted in March with nearly 6,000 respondents, found that 72% of those who initially increased their Jewish engagement after October 7th are still doing so today. I mean, it's kind of impossible to understand how many Jews like support Israel. The study I saw was, let's see, Jewish Voice for Peace survey. I think this is what I saw. I think this is like the most. So Jewish Voice for Peace is pretty like obviously anti-Zionist. So the new poll released on Wednesday underscores how far removed Jewish Voice for Peace and other anti-Zionist organizations that claim to represent Jews. I mean, they literally do represent Jews. They might not represent all Jews. But how can you say they don't represent Jews when they're Jews? How can you say, oh, you're a Jewish person and you claim to represent Jews, but you don't represent Jews? It's like, I'm a fucking Jewish person, motherfucker. Okay, so founded in so what are the results? American Jews who responded to the Jewish majorities poll overwhelmingly reject this line of thinking, saying that Israeli apartheid and occupation are the source of all this violence. 85% that believe that Hamas is a genocidal group, and 79% support vocally pro-Israel groups such as the ADL, an organization JVP has defamed as not a credible source on anti-Semitism and racism. Well, that's just true. Additionally, JVP's methods of protest are unpopular among American Jews. The Jewish majority added, noting that 75% disapprove of blocking traffic. So it doesn't really seem to. It doesn't, like, did they poll people on Israeli apartheid and occupation? Did they poll people on that? Like, that's kind of what I want to know. But anyway, 75% disapprove of blocking traffic, which means 25% of Jews approve in blocking traffic to end genocide, which seems to be pretty impressive.
Regardless, basically, I want to flesh out my ideas, my thoughts, because I'm being characterized by Hasan and a lot of his cohorts as being, a Zionist, being pro-Israel, being a Israel apologist, being a genocide supporter, being a baby killer, being married to a baby killer, etc., right? My wife is Israeli.
Dude, stop crying about Hasan. You sound like such a little bitch.
And it's not, but it's not. I wouldn't describe it as positive.
This isn't the one, is it, Dan? There's the one that shows 73% of diaspora Jews. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. Regardless, basically, I want to flesh out my ideas, my thoughts, because I'm being characterized by Hasan and a lot of.
You know what would have been a great thing for you to do, Ethan? Flesh out your ideas and thoughts on this issue before you have a debate with Sam Seder. Why did it take you this long to want to flesh out your thoughts on it? You should have them fleshed.
Of his cohorts as being, a Zionist, being pro-Israel, being a Israel apologist, being a genocide supporter, being a baby killer, being married to a baby killer, etc., right? My wife is Israeli. I don't know if you know that. So basically, I would like to just take the opportunity to explain my ideas, what I think about Israel, and you can tell me what you think, because apparently I will only listen to other Jewish people. So finally, I can speak to someone whose opinion matters to me. So thank you, as the official sanctioned Jewish man.
Oh my God. Once again, so fucking disgusting being like, oh yeah, your opinion only matters because you're Jewish. No, you motherfucker. You had him on to your show to debate Steven Crowder. You know that his opinion matters on shit and his Jewishness is irrelevant to it. The fact that Ethan brings Sam Seder's Jewishness up all the time is being used to disqualify Sam. So if Sam actually disagrees, people can be like, oh yeah, but Ethan just had to talk to him because he was Jewish, not because like he respects him or anything like that. Like, go fuck yourself.
Sam Seder, everybody. 100% Ashkenazi? You ever taken one of those?
I haven't, but I'm quite sure I have some Sephardic Jewish ancestry too. So I would mix.
That's good.
Vilnius and Hungary, I think.
Good for you. I think that's always a good thing. My friend, I'm 99.3%, so that's my. That's where my authority comes from.
I'll take your word for it.
So at any rate, let me start here by showing you.
What the fuck is happening? Why is he like digging deeper into the whole idea of, oh, let's see who's more purebred Jewish?
A little context.
Oh, let me also just say I got about an hour.
Okay, great. Well, I'll just get into it then. Oh, here it is. Not that it matters, but okay, whatever. So let's start here. Let's start with a little icebreaker here. I know we're both fans of Tim Pool. Okay, let's just enjoy this image together. Tim Pool recently at a wedding, can you see that?
Did he get married?
Well, I think he's attending a wedding.
Okay.
And he's very formally dressed, except.
Oh my God, who gives a fuck?
The only thing I really saw that came up in any of my mentions on Blue Sky, I'm also on Blue Sky, is just this issue about talking to me, and I had presumed that that was it. But I don't, like, look, from my perspective, I'm not, and I know that there's been, you mentioned in the email that there's been a lot of grief that you have taken, and I know that other people have also taken grief.
Bro, Ethan Klein sent an email to Sam Seder asking him to debate, and in that email, he's like, Sam, people are bullying me online. Sam's like, you sent me an email, and in that email, you talked about all the grief you've taken. Ethan, you're such a whiny bitch, bro. Just have some responsibility. If you want people to stop giving you grief about the issue, then stop talking about the issue. Stop picking at the scab, you dumb motherfucker.
On all sides of this, and the personal aspects of this, and I don't believe that people. I don't actively attempt to deplatform people. I don't think people should do that. I don't think people should be swatted or try.
Please tell me that Ethan Klein sent in the email that CPS went to his house. Oh my God, did he email Sam Seder about this CPS call?
I don't think people should do that. I don't think people should be swatted or tried to be fired or whatever, or have CPS sicked on them or any of that. I mean, I
Bro, he complained to Sam that CPS was called to his house. Oh my God. This guy wins the oppression Olympics. No one gets oppressed like Ethan Klein does. No one can possibly come close to the level of oppression and victimization that Ethan Klein sees himself as. This man sent in a letter to Sam Seder in an email saying that I've gotten so much grief online that CPS was even called to my house. Please, Sam, come on, and then we can let's just have a beautiful conversation where we connect as humans, and I can show that I'm really not a bad guy. Holy fuck, dude.
I just don't think that's appropriate. I mean, I'm more interested in talking about my relationship to Zionism and my perspective on what Israel is doing and what is happening in Gaza. And
I totally agree. Let's just talk about the facts. Let me start by showing you this clip. So I've been actually...
Was Ethan Klein trying to get Sam to talk about the CPS call with him? And then Sam's like, I don't want to talk about that. I just want to talk about what's happening in Israel and Palestine. Did Ethan Klein actually bring on Sam so that he could have a cry party with him?
Talking about my feelings on the Israel-Gaza Palestinian dispute situation for a long time. I lived in Israel for 5 years as well when I was with my wife early on. Here's my position.
Wow,
right
no one
after
gives
October
a fuck, Ethan.
7th.
That's completely irrelevant.
You can tell me if you have any. If you have any comments.
Once again, Ethan and Ela talk about how Hasan's never been to Israel, so how can he speak on the subject? And they also talk about, oh, I went to Israel and everyone was so nice and multicultural and it was so free there. So who is Hasan to say that Israel is an apartheid state? He doesn't know anything. That's what they say. When was the last time Sam Seder went to Israel? I don't know if he's ever been there. He's never spoken publicly about going to Israel, at least as long as I've been watching him. So how does Ethan think that Sam Seder has any authority on this issue? He's a complete hypocrite.
On any of my positions here, but this was from our episode a few days after October 7th. Liars and bad faith weirdos. So here's what I'll say about Israel.
Oh my God, I thought he was going to have a debate with him. Why is it all clips so far? He's just been like, yeah, I got a lot of grief and CPS was called on me in the email that he sent to Sam. Then he showed him a clip of Tim Pool. Now he's showing him a clip of the podcast that he had with Hasan. Why don't you you said you wanted to flesh out your ideas. Why don't you just do that?
Okay, listen. This isn't the first time I've said it, and I'll say it many more times. The cabinet is run by genocidal maniacs, okay? They're led by Netanyahu, who should resign in disgrace.
Sam seems so unimpressed with this. Once again, Why the fuck does Ethan Klein need to play a clip of himself talking instead of just talking? He's doing this not to flesh out his ideas as he said, but to try to say, see guys, Sam Cedar agrees with my beliefs, and you are unjustified in criticizing me. If you're going to criticize me, criticize Sam Cedar. Let's see if he plays the clips where he made fun of Aaron Bushnell for self-immolating. Let's see if he plays the clips of justifying the bombings of hospitals. Let's see if he plays the clips of him calling this a war countless times. Let's see if he plays the clips of him justifying an apartheid state of Israel. Let's see if he plays any of those clips, or if he's just going to play the ones where he's like, oh yeah, Netanyahu's genocidal. Fucking ridiculous.
And go to prison for being a war criminal. Okay, he's made a coalition of the most like radically conservative freaks that don't represent, by the way, the majority of Israelis, and they're hellbent.
They actually do. 80% of Israelis support what the IDF is doing. So yeah, no, they do. That coalition is representative of Israel's population.
On genocide, frankly, overtly. They've committed tons of war crimes in Gaza.
Sam is, I can't express enough how unimpressed Sam Cedar is with this shit. Once again, Ethan Klein, you have this man in front of you. You can talk to him. You don't need to play videos. Just talk to the motherfucker in front of you.
Gaza, including the killing of children, obviously, because Gaza is one of the most densely populated places in the world. 50% of the residents are under 18, so when you bomb a building...
I'm honestly skipping this. I don't give a fuck.
You know, it's a little too emotional, but I mean, so that was my take right after October 7th, and obviously that was coming off the end of me being...
Let's see if Ethan plays his take after October 7th, where he said leftists online are going to cause Netanyahu to gain more power. Let's see if he plays that take. The fucking most unhinged shit ever, where he's like the guy from the Deprogram podcast... I think that was, I think it was like the guy from Second Thought is like, oh, Israel's an apartheid state and we should like go Palestine. We should support Palestine. And Ethan's like, that's just going to give Netanyahu more power on the public stage. Let's see if he plays that take immediately after October 7th.
Like kind of, I'm an Israeli citizen. The morning of October 7th, me and my wife were up at 3 a.m. as families were calling into news stations from their safe houses, people being burned alive with their families being murdered while on the phone with news. So coming off of that emotional shock, right, was this was my reaction. Now, I don't know if there's something Zionist or pro-Israel I said there, but maybe I don't understand.
What the fuck? He's like, I played you a 30-second clip. Isn't it ridiculous that people are calling me a Zionist? Do you realize that you do a podcast every single day, almost every day, like for weeks and weeks, for your entire life, you do a podcast almost every single day? And it's not like you posted a 30-second clip and then disappeared from the internet. How small-brained is this man? Oh, I played you a 30-second clip, and people are calling me a Zionist, but I don't know, did you see anything Zionist in there? Huh? Is this man a moron? Is he actually stupid? What the fuck? What is going on? Like, I feel like this isn't even worth covering. Is that really his debate tactic?
I think much of what you said was true. I'm not sure, frankly, if what we've seen Israel do in terms of Gaza is not broadly supported in Israel.
Yes, dude. Sam's literally calling his bullshit out. Ethan insists that it's just a small fraction of racist, like, hyper-extremist Israelis that are supporting this genocide. But let's just look up the polls. What was this poll that came out? How many Israelis support IDF? This was March 10th, 2024. JNS. Only 4% of Jews agree Israel-Hamas war, Israelis' view of the conflict. Israelis are split in their views of the military response to Hamas in Gaza. Percent who say the military response in Gaza has been about right, 39%, not gone far enough, 34%, gone too far. So that's, and then don't know. So only 20% say that it's gone too far. The rest are like, I don't know, it's about right, or no, we need to go farther. Bro, only 20, when did this come out? May 30th, 2024. Oh, this was a while ago, actually. I think there was like a more recent one that came out. But like still, that was in May 2024 when the genocide was well underway. When did this come out? March 10th, 2024, March 19th, 2025? What is this poll? So nearly 60% of Israelis support return to fighting Hamas in Gaza. When did this come out? This was in March 2025? March 19th, 2025. Nearly 3 in 5 Israelis back the resumption of fighting in the Gaza Strip in the wake of Hamas's rejection. Hamas rejected it? Well, Hamas rejected the ceasefire extension. So 59% of Israelis support the resumption to hostilities. Some 38% said they oppose it, while 3% of respondents did not express a position. Direct polls, which accurately predicted the results of the Jewish state's most recent general election, the margin of error, okay. The IDF announced early on. So this was a poll done in, and like, it's Israelis? So once again, when they say Israelis, I tend to wonder if they're polling Palestinian Israelis or just Jewish Israelis. But, sorry, I'm trying to find this. I'm trying to read chat at the same time. Oh, thank you, Meatouts, for the 10 gifted subs. Yeah, I think you guys need to like allow the gift memberships if that's something that you don't have set up. If you want to be given a gifted sub by someone as generous as Meatouts. But anyway, guys, like this is a return to fighting. This isn't even just a support of the genocide, which is being done with or without fighting. Like they're genociding them by doing a total blockade of food, water, and electricity and medical aid into Gaza. That's not even a support of the ethno-state of Israel. That's not even a support of the occupation. This is a support of the return to fighting. So 60% of Israelis a month ago support the active genocide of Palestinians. Not even like the passive genocide, not even the occupation and the maintenance of an ethno-state. No, the active genocide of Palestinians. That's what they support. So Sam is 100% in the right when he says, I don't know if that's true, that Israelis don't support this.
Not seeing the body politic. I mean,
guys, I am going to have to cut this stream off, though. I will be streaming later today, though. I'm going to go for another 20 minutes, and then I'm going to have to call it. But I will be on later today because this is too good to not cover, man. This is too good to not cover.
Doing a lot of interviews with Israeli reporters earlier in 2023 about the protests against what Netanyahu was doing with the judiciary. And there was a question as to whether Israelis would see that this autocracy that Netanyahu was...
Bro, immediately out of Ethan's depth. Immediately out of his depth. Ethan's, like, political appraisal of Israel is, oh, I once had coffee and there was a Palestinian beside me at the cafe having coffee, and it was such a beautiful moment of peace and togetherness, and for a second I thought I forgot about the apartheid that exists out of Israel, because obviously there's no apartheid within Israel, because there was a Palestinian right beside me. He's so stupid. Immediately Sam Cedar gets into actual like political analysis of the reasons that protests were happening and how people can be critical of Netanyahu's government while still supporting the genocide that Netanyahu's government is doing.
Earlier in 2023 about the protests against what Netanyahu was doing with the judiciary. And there was a question as to whether Israelis would see that this autocracy that Netanyahu was attempting to sort of impose on the country wasn't an extension of what was happening in places like the West Bank and in Gaza in some fashion, and more so the West Bank at that time. And so I think it's hard to make an argument. And look, I would make it's not a perfect analogy as to what's happening in this country, but when you talk about the Israeli population not having a problem with what's going on in Gaza. I don't see a lot
Chat, no spoilers. No spoilers, guys. You're making me too excited. You're making me want to watch this entire thing right now, but I can't. I promise I'll be here later today, and if you miss the stream, you can catch the VOD. But god damn it, you're getting me too hyped, guys. Like, I'm excited for this, but I don't want to be like fixated on it until I get to the stream. No spoilers, Gato. But yeah, actually, you should get some sleep.
of evidence of that. There's certainly, I would imagine, a percentage of Israelis, and I know some of them who think that Israel should stop its assault there. But I don't think I don't see a lot of evidence that a year and a half later, after you said those things, that this is not the character of the vast majority of Israeli society. I mean, I'm not necessarily convinced that they are as aware. I mean, I've talked to people.
Yeah, Killer Ken, that's a good thing to point out. It's not like this genocide has paused. The genocide has only ramped up. Now, once again, like, Ethan Klein is going to say that, oh, Joe Biden was responsible for the ceasefire, and when you say there's no evidence that it would have been any different under a Biden or Harris presidency than a Trump presidency, you're delusional. And there is evidence that it's worse underneath Donald Trump's presidency, particularly because of the American domestic politics. But in terms of the foreign policy, there is no difference. There has been reports put out there that I need to cover that Biden never actually was trying to get a ceasefire deal done. He never was pushing hard for it. Like, he had it set up, but then he's like, okay, Israel doesn't want to do it. Who am I to step in and enforce them to do it? There's a genocide going on. It hasn't stopped, and it's just getting worse. So we need to we need to watch this conversation underneath that context, that there has been no food, water, electricity, or medical aid of any kind allowed into Gaza. This is a completely man-made famine, and it's been going on for 2 months since the end of that ceasefire. And then it's like Israel is actively killing people. Like, they're bombing them. They just destroyed the last functioning hospital in Gaza. There's still horror stories coming out about humanitarian workers being executed, doctors coming back talking about the atrocities that they've seen. There is an ongoing genocide, and Ethan Klein is asking for pity points from Sam Cedar. That is the context in which this conversation is happening. And hey, huge shout out to Meatouts. Meatouts is the stream MVP, so we got everyone thank Meatouts in chat.
Who have reported in the West Bank, and they said they would go from the West Bank into Israel, and the lack of awareness of what was happening in the West Bank by Israelis was shocking to them. So, I can't say if the Israeli population had a full understanding of what was happening in Gaza, that they wouldn't change their mind. But I don't see a lot of evidence of it.
So, as you touched on, this was made basically before the war started. And I think that
Ethan can't even help himself. He can't even help himself. He says before the war started. Let's see if Sam Cedar calls him out on this shit. Actually insane that you have the IDF and Israel cutting off food, water, electricity, medical aid, any kind of humanitarian supplies from going into Gaza. They had control over the water, the electricity, all ports of access into this region, into this open air prison. They had control of all of that before October 7th, before the war. They're bombing them. There's been barely any casualties from rocket fire received from Gaza. The IDF has been bombing them nonstop. They have complete air superiority. They have fractured every single ceasefire deal. They've been killing women, children, historical centers, medical centers, cultural centers, just killing everyone. They've been given orders to kill all of the men. They've been given orders to kill everything that moves, depending on the commander who's in the area. And Ethan Klein has the nerve to call this a war. He has the nerve to call this a war. This guy is scum. He like, there's just no other way to put it. There's an active genocide going on, and you sit there and call it a war? You're going to sit there and call it a war. It's fucking gross, man. I mean, by this logic, by this metric, the Holocaust is a war. Oh, well, they fought they fought Poland to get Jews in Poland into concentration camps. They fought Russia to get Russians into concentration camps and kill them. They had the Warsaw Ghetto Uprising, where they had to go against violent terrorists in Warsaw to get the Jews in Warsaw into concentration camps and kill them. By this logic, the Holocaust is a war. This guy's such a fucking loser-ass piece of shit, where he's justifying hospitals being bombed because he says that Hamas has military bases underneath hospitals. He is like, bro, he's dressed like a villain, and what he's saying is villain shit. It's so gross. It's really disgusting.
Unfortunate, really tragic outcome of the war is how much it's jaded and radicalized, I think, people in Israel.
Guys, I think I'm gonna call it. I think I'm gonna call it there. Let's just. Yeah, we're gonna call it there. We're gonna stop it at what Ethan Klein just said, where he said, I think the misfortunate, tragic outcome of the war has been that it's jaded people in Israel. That it's jaded people in Israel. Ethan Klein says there's just, this sentence is so fucked up in so many different ways. Ethan said, he really just said, I honestly can't believe he just said that sentence. The unfortunate, tragic outcome of the war is that it's jaded people in Israel. This guy is really scum of the earth, man. Obviously he's talking about himself. He said the tragic outcome of this genocide that I've been defending and supporting this entire time is that it's jaded me. It's hardened my heart, and it's making it difficult for me to empathize with the Palestinians. Me killing Palestinians is making it difficult for me to empathize with them. The actual degeneracy of him to utter that.
As you touched on, this was made basically before the war started. And I think that the unfortunate, really tragic outcome of the war is how much it's jaded and radicalized, I think, people in Israel. It's really, I think people in Israel feel like isolated. They feel like, oh no, guys, Israel, who's gone against every humanitarian law in the books, who's claimed that the UN is anti-Semitic for sending aid to Gaza, they're feeling isolated right now. Why doesn't anyone support Israel in this genocide? Bro, I actually can't. I can't, man. I can't. Guys, I'm going to have to take a break. We're going to have to start it off at this point where Ethan Klein is saying some of the most genocidal, fucking freakish language that I've ever heard him use to describe this shit. All right, man. This guy's really fleshing out his thoughts on this issue, and it seems like he's just pro-genocide. That's what he's doing. Holy fuck. Yeah, those poor Nazis, they're so alone. I mean, they've declared war on every single country that's surrounding them. They've done that. But no, they're so alone because they don't have the support of the rest of America. Jesus Christ. Guys, I'm going to be streaming later tonight. Go watch The Serfs. Go watch, I don't know. Who's streaming this? Do not worry. Go watch It Gets Worse. Oh my god, I'm going to need I don't know. I don't drink. Maybe I'll need some ice cream or something. Go watch Hutch. Go watch Do Not Worry podcast. Go watch The Serfs podcast. Watch some stuff. I'm going to be streaming this later tonight. I really can't believe how quickly Ethan's run into degeneracy in this conversation. But holy fuck. Okay, apparently it gets worse. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll talk to you all later, probably in a few hours. All right, have a good one, everyone. Thanks for all of the chats. Thanks for all of the gifted subs, and everyone have a great rest of your day. See ya.